As I was thinking of how to name this video and what to write on its thumbnail, one thing kept popping into my mind about the Fertile Crescent. It's so retro but different. It sends you back to when you were a kid or young man and woman in some of your cases playing Age of Empires for the first time, but it also does a lot of things differently. My name is Peter, and I honestly cannot say what stuck in my mind more back when I first tried Age of Empires. The harvesting of food from bushes and animals, the strange way the minimap was turned, the inhuman fast animations, the awesome sounds. It was all like another world, but also love at first sight and sound. I know some of you are enjoying the new and somewhat different Age of Empires 4, but how about you join me on this memory lane today and check out the Fertile Crescent from the bold developers at Wield Interactive, and I promise it will be worth it. It is a lookalike which doesn't copy as much as it reinvents, and I think that is brave and risky for this game, but I will explain my thoughts in a moment. The mode I was playing here is called Horde mode, where you get a random map, your starting people, and must defend yourself for 10 enemy waves. Mostly they come from one direction until you survive a few waves, and then they start to attack from multiple directions and with siege equipment to boot. Admittedly, I played on the second out of the 4 difficulty levels, so my game might look easier than it really is. Because the Fertile Crescent is set in the Bronze Age, your available civil and military technology is limited to bows, arrows, and melee weapons with shields. Food collection is limited to harvesting bushes and local wildlife, some of which does fight back, as well as stationary farms, but in appropriate wet environments. You have work camps and granaries as drop-off points besides the town center, which help you reduce the travel time of your villagers when they are harvesting different resources. There are more features and game content still in development, like the construction of wonder-like buildings. There are a number of resources like metal, wood, food, clay, bricks, but no real production chains, just straight-up collection and usage. Your villagers are smart enough not to stand around doing nothing if there's work to be done. If they have cut one tree, they move on to the next. If they have dug all the clay out of one active pit, they move on to the next active pit. Hunting animals, the same. You can tech up, but not in the Age of Empires way. Rather, you use your accumulated knowledge points, which you get by having a food surplus, to unlock upgrades for the civilians or the army units. These are mostly based on straight up bonuses to production or damage and self-explanatory, and admittedly need more variety and interesting effects to be more fun. But what is more important here is a history lesson the game teaches you. When a civilization has a surplus of food, it actually has the means of keeping alive thinkers and thinkers, the people who can advance their technology. It is exactly what let humans upgrade from one technological level to another over the millennia. So excess food available for those who aren't producing it is what makes progress possible in human civilizations. Another big change in the gameplay is that your town center auto-generates new villagers as long as you have collected enough food to keep the balance books positive and build new dwellings. Now you might ask, why do I need dozens of villagers? Well, to feed your soldiers. It is a rather novel approach to Age of Empire-like gameplay in this game, because here you really get the sense of having a live town full of villagers you must defend with the army they work their backs off to train and sustain. I think that is actually a brilliant twist on how usually in these kinds of RTS games with base building, a few villagers or resource collectors produce enough to keep whole armies going. The realism of this change is quite refreshing, if I may say so. A great thing is that there are no population caps. You can have as many villagers and soldiers as your economy can sustain, and that economy is only limited by how much of the procedurally generated map you take over and employ at producing resources for you. Besides this horde mode, the full game will have single player missions, skirmish, sandbox mode, and even multiplayer with up to 4 players. The planned release date is 29th of March this year on Steam, where you can try out the demo version right now. As for the defenses, you can build watchtowers which fit up to 4 of your units, walls which block access, and gates which have doorways allowing you to go back and forth in and out of your town. The unit variety isn't all that great, but it's mostly realistic for the period. Slingers, javelins and archers as the range units, while swordsmen, axemen, spearmen are the melee units. There are no cavalry units, as the Bronze Age saw little use of such units, but there are siege weapons like rams and catapults. I do hope you as a player are capable of dealing with low-key graphics and giving the Fertile Crescent a chance because of its familiar but unique gameplay. It's definitely worth a shot, not just for dusting off those pink glasses or hopping on the nostalgia train. I for one want to thank the developers for their brave and bold approach to messing with the old-time RTS formula and for the opportunity to talk about their game on my channel. This horde mode is actually similar to another RTS and base building game I'm playing right now on my channel called Diplomacy is Not an Option, and you might want to stop by and take a look. Besides that, there are a number of other videos you might like, some of which are on the screen as cards right now. Thank you for watching and happy gaming.